Pardon the way I look, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, but I wanted to explain something to you. Why does my account say Rusty Warren? Now, Rusty Warren passed away 2 years ago. That was a stage name for my friend. And when Rusty passed, I inherited all the rights to her comedy, music, everything. Everything. Prior to her passing, her caregivers took me to court. They virtually took me and her to court to gain access to her guardianship. And they were ruthless. Right. So let's go back to why I came on here, to tell you why I started TikTok. Well, after Rusty passed, I inherited everything, and I am now considered legally her. My name is Liz, but I'm legally her in the rights of the law. I own all the copyrights. I took that music and I said, I am going to make something great out of what they tried to destroy. Oh my God, I can't even go into it, but I will someday publish those court records to show they accused me of terrible things, which weren't true. And even after she passed, they continued to smear my name and say I was pretending to be her. They even offered to buy me out of the music. And of course, I said no, because she wanted me to keep it going in perpetuity. Because in 1958, she made Songs for Sinners album, then Knockers Up, Bounce Your Boobies, Banned in Boston, Sensational, Sexponent. She made 15 albums. And I spent a year redigitizing what I could, learning the industry, and it's been okay. It's helped me make a living. But I came on here originally on TikTok because I made a deal with my husband because he didn't want me on TikTok. He was like, I really don't feel like you should do it. Honey, I said, you know what? I'm a grown woman. Let's negotiate. 1 month. If I don't go viral in 1 month, I'm done. Because what's the point? So in 1 month, I had about 60 followers. I was pretty excited. You go see my old videos and you'll see some of the silly stuff I put on there. And then I walked into Walmart one day and this woman with a cane was working there. And I said, oh my God, I got to help this lady. And I raised $137,000 for her. And I don't know what possessed me. It was just God moved me to do this. And I helped this woman retire. And there's a whole story behind that. And I'm not quite sure if everything is legit on her family's end of it, but the minute they got the money, it was horrible. They were fighting over it. It was awful. And I will go into that someday because they're not in the clear yet. Let me tell you, Carmen Walmart, my videos. So anyway, now I'm on TikTok, and at that point I had 127,000 followers. And the news came to my house. They interviewed me and said, why did you do this on TikTok? And I said, the music. So since then, the music's doing quite well. It's all over the world. But I did it. Rusty Warren is the name of the music. So my new account is rustywarren.lizrizzo. But I have enjoyed TikTok, and now I'm on it. Now I'm a staple on here. And I love it. And look, see this? This is from my friends that they own Arizona Iced Tea, and it was a gift, and it covers my gray. But getting back to TikTok. TikTok to me is a social place. I have friends, they real friends. I give parties, but they're shallow friends. I'm home recovering now. And you know what? You know who your friends are. When you're feeling sick or you've had surgery and they come help you, those are your friends. Okay? I've had 2 people come over. I even asked 3 people, 4, 5, 6. Please come over and help me. 1 hour. I will pay you. I will pay you to come over to my house. Whatever. But, they're busy. Life goes on. But I do have my husband. So anyway, getting back to TikTok and all this, it all fell together. The TikTok, the music, and then Rusty Warren's songs, Knockers Up, Bounce Your Boobies, Sexponent, Banned in Boston. She made 7 gold albums, and she made 15 albums. And I promised her I'd get that back out there in perpetuity, all that music. And I did. So I'm proud of myself. But now I'm in the process of this knee replacement. And I'll tell you, it has been a bear, rhinoceros, monster, everything, painful. Right now, I'm okay. A half hour ago, I was not okay. I was barely getting by. And I didn't want to cry on here again. So I'm doing what my doctor told me. He said, take the pain pills. I don't like pain pills. I don't like the feeling. I don't like the being not in my correct state of mind, which it does alter you. But I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And someday I will share. I've shared some of my story. There's a podcast or two out there. I've been interviewed for the Rusty Warren kidnapping. Yes, Rusty Warren was kidnapped. At the last year and a half of her life, I did not talk to her because the court said I should be able to talk to her. And these people who were mad at me because they wanted her trust, which was left to me, they felt that I didn't deserve it, even though it was made 40 years ago. And it was made and then they updated it. They said Rusty, who had dementia, was giving it to them. Caregivers barely knew them. And then a roommate named Barbara who kicked Rusty out. And that's how I ended up getting her to the caregivers. The caregivers, Tim and Gail, who had criminal records for senior abuse. And I didn't realize how serious it was until they wouldn't give her back to me. We had to go with the court, the lawyers, the sheriff to go get Rusty out of there. And I tell you, it was the most horrible time of my life to see my friend Rusty, who was a real rough woman who could duke it out with the best of them. She was smart. She was just charming. She was a comedian. And here she was with dementia, a helpless child. And if you said to Rusty, will you go with me? I'll give you a cookie. She would go with you. And they took advantage of that. But they didn't realize that I was a little bit smarter than them. And I'm going to have to say that because I had to be one step ahead of them. And they went and got expensive lawyers and they lied in court. I've got the court records. I'm going to expose those records someday. I'm just going to print them up because I paid for them. It's public record. What they did in court, and it happens in family court all the time. You know, somebody will say something, and because they say it, it's true. Well, they dug through all my records, all my bank records. My new husband at the time, they went through all his records because they accused us of stealing, which we did not. They found a Netflix charge because Rusty and I had our accounts together. And then when this whole court thing started, they froze my assets. They wanted to kick me out of my house, which basically they made me move out of my house in Hawaii. I was, forced to sell it. And they wanted to sell it at auction, which would have been terrible. But I hung in there and I did what was right. And all I cared about was Rusty. I got her away from those terrible caregivers, only for the new guardian to bring her back. And I said to my husband, honey, it's going to cost us probably another $40,000. Can I borrow the money at the time? Because they just wiped me out. My accounts were pretty much wiped out. And I took them back to court. And she was found that she shouldn't be there. She shouldn't be with abusers. So they took her out, took her to California. And I never got to talk to her again. She was my best friend. She was my partner. She was my life. For a long time, for over 30 years, we shared a home in Hawaii. And these people, these total strangers, and this could happen to any one of you, these strangers could come into your home and say that they want what isn't theirs. And they can fight you for it. Be careful who you let into your home. Be careful who you let into your life. But even to this day, they still harass me on public social media and say I'm pretending to be Rusty. I'm not pretending to be Rusty. I am not Rusty Warren. I am Liz. I'm not Rusty. But I represent her. And I put her music out there. That's what she really wanted. And even that last couple years before she passed, I had her for 6 months. And I videotaped her. And you'll see some videos what her wishes were. And she was so proud of me. And she said, I left you everything because I knew you would be the only person to do my music right, to keep her on the map in perpetuity. And therefore, that's how it came to be, the Rusty Warren account. And I thank all of you who loved her, who knew her. I mean, it was an older generation, but I thank you for putting her on the map again. God bless you. Thank you for listening to my video.